Look let me turn off my iPad. Give me some internet because this ain't gonna work. Hey, hey, hey! How you guys doing? Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great night. Y'all just share the live. We're just going to wait on a few people
Good
to
afternoon.
join.
Good evening.
All right, so I should be able to share it.
Yeah. We have one person. Hey, Mother Louise. Thank you for joining. How you doing this evening?
Hey, how you doing? Okay, so
Mother joining. How you doing? Mother joining. How you doing?
okay, I'm turning my.
Look at me talking like that. Hey, Sylvia, share this for me. Hey, sis. Hey, sis. Can you please share it? Hey, sis. How you doing? Thank you so much. Hey, sis, since you on here, you're one of the first people on here. What we're doing tonight is maybe you got a question already. You joined us last week where we talked about, the different things with mental illness and how as African American women, we had to for a lot of times we had to act a part and we had to dress a part, and a lot of times we were struggling and a lot of different things, to keep up this image as an African American woman. And sometimes it drains us on our mental illness or anything else that you may have a question about. It's just free open space. What we're going to do tonight is just basically take some questions and answer some questions. But we're gonna chat. We got some stuff that we do got to talk about. But if y'all got any questions that y'all want to ask, anything that y'all need any insight on, we here tonight just to talk to our sisters tonight. Tonight is just basically we're gonna be talking to our sisters tonight. So anything y'all want to talk about, I see we got a few people that join. Please share this live. Please share this live. Listen, y'all, as before we got on here, me and Shawana was talking about it's 5 days away from Christmas. And it's so much stuff, so much stress that can go on getting prepared for Christmas. It's just, if you think about it, money can stress you out. Just think about the loss of your loved ones. Just like I was just talking to her about, my grandma has been on me so heavy, so heavy. So I don't know if maybe somebody else may be feeling that, and maybe we can just talk about that tonight. We just really want to talk guys tonight. So anybody got any questions, feel free just to ask us. Thank you so much for those that have joined. Make sure it ain't stopping.
Yeah, and I got to be able to look at it, be able to see the questions if they post them.
I can see them right here. I can see the questions. I just can't see the
Hey,
hearts.
Sylvia, how you doing?
Did I share? I think I shared.
And y'all, I know
Thank
that
you for the
it,
heart, sister.
it's really close to Christmas, guys, and I don't know if y'all feeling like I used to feel around this time. I know y'all going through it, and I know y'all stressing, um, because that used to be me. And even now, I'm still scrambling. I ain't bought not one Christmas gift, and I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't bought not one. And I'm a last minute person sometimes, but it usually I've already bought, at least purchased some gifts. But
Mhm.
this, I haven't purchased any. And I'm just gonna go with the flow. Like I'm not stressing. I ain't crying. I ain't mad. because I know, I mean, God always works it out. And I my kids ain't really wanting for nothing. If they want for something, it's just a want. They ain't needing for anything. So
Right.
I ain't stressing about it, you know. But it took time over the years to get where I am right now. My biggest stressor is being able to see my family for the holidays because my mom is in Georgia, my little sister is in Georgia. So, that's the hardest part. And I know when you're not able to be with your loved ones and spend time with them,
Mm-hmm.
that can be a little hard. But that's my biggest concern. I just want to reunite or link up with my family that I haven't seen in a couple of months, and that's about it. The gifts, that's not important to me. And I
Right.
hope I could reach somebody tonight and just tell y'all, don't stress about it. Don't even stress about it. Get what you
It's
can.
gonna be all right.
Yeah,
It's gonna
get
be
what
all
you
right.
can, and the rest gonna all work out. So
I
don't
was
let them
sitting.
kids stress you.
Yeah, I was sitting and I was thinking, and not to talk about my daughter, but
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with somebody, and I believe when she was like 8 years old, she asked for a sewing machine, right?
Yeah.
And she is 19 years old, so that's 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So now look, that same sewing machine I had started using for my business, she only
Wow.
used that sewing machine at least probably one time, probably just unwrapping it. And that's a lot of times what go on, especially
Hmm.
in the African community. we
Yeah.
we act as if we got to buy all this stuff. We got to buy Jordans, we got to buy this, we got to buy that, we got to buy that. And we get to a point where we stress ourselves out because we don't
Yeah.
got no money, and we don't know that stuff be mentally draining us
Hmm.
because sometimes those children be okay with just the love. Some
Right.
children, they want a lot because it's only because we don't spoil them and we
Yeah.
don't let them got their way for so
For
long,
so long.
and we ain't really say, okay, I'm finna stop doing this. And most of the reasons why we buy them so much stuff is because we ain't have it back in the days. And a
Yeah.
lot of times we don't understand how toxic that is,
Hmm.
because a lot of times our parents, like mom, can do a lot of stuff. She had four girls. She raising four girls by herself. Yeah, she had help, but my grandma really ain't have. She wasn't really working, so all of it was on my mom. My daddy, he helped when he can, but a lot of things was it's just that you know she didn't really have it to give us. So when I got my kids, I'm gonna make sure they get this. I'm gonna make sure they don't want for
Yeah.
nothing and this and that and
We
all
couldn't
that.
have it.
Right, was made entitled children. So
Mhm.
now a lot of parents are sitting in stress about stuff that they can't handle or stuff they can't get because they don't created children
That are
and
entitled.
that are entitled. And
Mhm.
that's not what it's about. It's about showing your love. No matter how much you love them, that does not tell you, that can never tell a child how much you love them. I don't
Right.
care what you buy them. So I just, yeah,
And
yeah,
at
a
some
lot of,
point, we do have to be able to teach our kids that it's more to life than material things, too. They got to learn how to appreciate it, and they got to learn how to love on their family, too.
mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm,
it's hard. I mean, even for
mm-hmm,
me, I'm still working on that, you know.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like, I had to kind of pull away with them materialistically because I was just trying to buy everything that they said they wanted, or I could try to get, or I think that they should have. And I was wasting money. Y'all wouldn't even believe some of the stuff I've had to give away. Like that was brand new. Oh, because
Wow.
they don't like it, they ain't wearing it. It's not what their friends are wearing.
Right.
So guess what? I ain't working that hard no more. You don't have to. You can get them. They can put a certain amount of things on their list, and you can get what you can. It's not the time to be stressing. And I know we all done it, and we
Yeah.
all probably, gonna do it at some point
Mhm.
in our life. But yeah, we just gotta be.
Just gotta be. Oh, you blanked out. What you saying, sis? You blanked out. Oh, okay. As she was saying, we just gotta go ahead, sis. Feeling what you was saying. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
I was
blank.
saying you just gotta learn not to let that type of stuff stress us. Christmas is here. It's all about connecting with your family, showing love, couple of gifts here and there to show appreciation. But don't stress about what you cannot get. Don't stress about it.
That's so
And
true.
that's like, because I know a lot of y'all stressing right now. Take a time back. Like, take one of these days before Christmas. This is probably some of the best advice that anyone can take. Man, woman, grandma, child, it don't matter. Christmas is going to be on the 25th. So one of these days before the 25th, take you a day, relax, go do something for yourself,
Right.
because you about to give, and you probably been working all year just to give for this one day. So
Right.
guess what? Take some time, go get your nails done, go get a haircut, go get a pedicure, go have a sip of wine or something, anything that's for you, so you can
Right.
just relieve the stress, because this is the time where people are committing suicide. People are, a lot of deaths are happening. People are just struggling right now. You know, I just say take a break for yourself, even if it's just a quiet break. Just go somewhere and sit by yourself and enjoy some peace and quiet. Cause y'all know them children gonna stress you out. Family gonna stress you out. Stop worried
Come
about
on.
getting your house prepared for the family that's coming in. Give it how they gonna give it to them how you gonna give it to them, and enjoy yourself at least one day before Christmas. Because guess what's coming right after that? The new year.
The
And
new
then,
year.
yeah, so
The new year.
new
Eh,
year, another chance to make it better next year.
And then what we don't understand, like I know it's giving is good, but we don't understand like the small stuff. Like if we try to spend, like I know we grew up, we try to spend all this money on
Yeah.
all this big stuff, and it just be the small stuff that touch the hearts of the people.
Yes.
Just for me, like it's them thinking about me. Like my daughter, what you want for Christmas? I really don't know. It's just I like to be surprised. Just the
Yeah.
fact that you're thinking about me, that does something for me. That
Exactly.
that that blesses me in another type of way. And it's just that we as African Americans, we don't created this culture where we have to buy all this stuff because we're competing with the other person got.
Mhm.
And that put us in such of a big a stressful moment. Like you saying, like it's stressful. You sometimes you
Mhm.
be don't want to go around your family because you ain't got this certain stuff for
Yeah.
Christmas, or your children ain't got this, and they gonna talk about me. They gonna say this, and all that stuff really don't really matter. What really matters is that your child can be able to stand if they're getting bullied at school, and they can come to you and say, "Mom, somebody is really bullying me, and it's really really affecting me in another type of way." Or they can come to their father, and you can give them that advice, and they can go and push them to another level and not kill their self-esteem, and they can build their self up, and that's very important. And like with my children, I'm glad that they're old. And like you said, I can
Mhm.
remember it was the time when I first didn't have when I first got off my job, and Christmas was coming, and they was a little younger, and certain stuff I used to buy them when I used to work, I wasn't able to buy. So I
Mhm.
was just, oh my God, I was in depression. So it was like I couldn't really buy the food that I want to buy. It was like I was in a depression. So, but my kids was just happy that they got love. They, you know what I'm saying? They mama happy, it's love in the household. And now some children hold that over you, but my kids ain't never really said, "Well, mom, you didn't get us enough for Christmas, and you did
Mhm.
this and that, and we struggled for that." They didn't. They haven't. They're not.
Yeah.
They're okay, and some like they're very grateful children. Like my daughter is very grateful. My son is grateful. My younger boy, he kind of a little spoiled, but
Yeah. You
that's
you always
that
gonna
is
have it.
he a little spoiled, but he grateful as well, though. He's grateful as well, and a lot of times we stress ourselves out
Hey,
about
baby.
things that don't even matter. Hey, Teresa, how you doing, sis? How you doing? We stress ourselves out about a lot of different stuff. So I'm with you on that. Shawana, listen, if you ain't got it, if you don't
Yeah.
have money for it, if you still ain't got it today and you keep praying and ain't coming through, it's
Mhm.
okay. It'll be
Yeah.
okay. Love on them children and do what you can do.
Yeah.
Because it's something you will be able to do. Do what you can. Just have a little hope. And like a lot of times when we get around this thing, I know hope is kind of it's shaky a little bit, but you gotta have some. You gotta
Yeah.
have some hope. Without
Yeah.
hope, you ain't gonna be believing. You always gonna believe the bad stuff. And I know some people say hope is just a gimmick, but you gotta have something that you can change from. You gotta have something you believe want to see the good in something. So
Right.
that's 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 very important.
Yeah. And Vante, you was talking earlier, before we got on live about, we was talking about our grandmothers,
Hmm.
and we both, we know what it feels like for them not to be here, but we also know each other's grandmothers as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think something that we in our generation, right now have to do too, because of so much going on. One thing we do know, when we were younger, our grandmothers always brought us together. I don't care for what holiday it was. It don't matter. We was always going to grandma's house for something. And it was a must. She was always the one that brought
Hmm.
us together.
Hmm.
So I think at this point, we gotta continue to carry that, and we gotta continue to work on getting our families together more often and for more events, you know, just so we could get to know our family, our sisters, our uncles, people that we haven't seen in a while. I think we got to start carrying that torch, because I know a lot of us are falling short. So we just got to pick up where they left off and keep this family thing going. Because one thing we don't want in our generation, which we seeing a lot of killings and a lot of deaths here lately. We got to bring our community back together. And I think if we build our families back up, we'll build a community back up as
Hmm.
well. And,
Hmm.
help our children, because that has to be done.
Hmm.
It's getting out of control and it's out of hand. And the only way is if we're showing them and we're doing, like, we got to be moving and shaking. We can't just be talking about it, but we got to pull our families together some kind of way. So I think that's a big thing. So if you in a family that don't get together like you used to, because of big mama or whoever, make it happen. Start with someone. I know people, I don't want all the people at my house. Grandma didn't either. She didn't want all the people at her house either. And ain't nobody help her clean up. So guess what? Now you gotta just pick it up. We gotta pick it up. We gonna have all the people at our house. I don't care if you ain't got the money to feed everybody. If enough people come together, 10, 10, 10, we can have enough food and we can come
Hmm.
up with a meal. Cause I know a lot of us on this live, we done been raised. Somebody know how to cook. All
Hmm.
we gotta do is y'all get the cousins together. Let's get this money together, and we all gonna eat good for Christmas. So that's important. So if you're feeling down about gifts and money, don't worry about it. Get your little family together. Y'all have a dinner, have some games, and enjoy each other as much as you can, because you might not get tomorrow. So we definitely got to enjoy it, just like we enjoy doing the things that we want to do, you know.
Right.
So we just got to get our families together and build them and make them strong, so we can have better communities, and we can teach these people some of the things that we didn't know. I just think that's real important.
Yeah. I
We got
agree with you on that.
Yeah.
That's so true. Because like when my grandma before my grandma died, she had to go to the nursing home for a couple of months. I mean
Yeah.
for years.
Hmm.
So that kind of pulled, and people don't understand, like they kind of pulled. It kind
Yeah.
of pulled a wedge because now you don't got that place where you can go in and you can go sit and
Yeah.
just, have that family fellowship. And then like you say, we know each other grandmas, like my grandmother house. Everybody was over there
Yeah.
every day. Like it was crowded
All
and
the
and
time.
and,
She
and
was our
like
grandma too.
that's what I'm saying. She was the hood grandma. So she was
Hmm.
everybody grandmother. So I kind of understand like that gap in our family. And just like it kind of like in the mental part of it, it kind of the wedge and the breaking, because like you don't have that person that you can go to either. But
Yeah.
it's very important that we know that grandma did leave here with some stuff. She did
Mhm.
instill some stuff in us. And one
Yep.
thing she did instill in us was family. So somebody got it. And that was on my heart too, because I'm like, we don't get together no more. We don't have cookouts
Yeah.
no more. Everybody just, everybody thinking
You doing their
everybody
own little thing.
doing their own little thing, and I'm doing my own little thing too. But it comes to a point where you got a generation, like you saying, like you got a generation, and it's just my thing. You got a generation that don't know God.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Yeah.
That for me, that bothers me. Like he has no respect of a person. And my grandma showed that. Watching my grandmother pray, and you could be a contest to this. My grandma prayed for
Yeah.
people that was on drugs, they got off drugs.
Mhm.
She prayed for everybody that went to jail, they got out of jail. And some of those cases were thrown out. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So my thing is like he has no respect of person. And a lot of us don't got away from that. Like you said, like that with these killings. Like, and this is my clarion call, and I'm praying for the mothers. And like they gotta talk. Like they gotta open their mouth. You
They
see what I'm
definitely
saying?
do.
Like my nephew got killed, so
Yeah.
I can talk, but I don't know how a mother feel. You understand what I'm saying? I know
Exactly.
how it feels as an aunt to sit and have to plan a funeral, and my sister can do it. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't know. They
Yeah.
don't know. They don't know God. And that's what gets me. And I see a lot of my people, they struggling, they're going through something. And like I said, like I was talking to you, my grandma was on my heart. But I'm like, okay, my grandma on my heart is because somebody need me to pray. I really don't know who right now. I'm feeling something. I'm feeling somebody. So I really got to tap in and see, because I don't get to a point. My grandma been dead 2 years. She been dead 2 years. I don't get to a point where I want to cry, but I've been crying, and nobody knows that I've been crying. Like
Yep.
my husband was getting ready to go to the club yesterday. He had the DJ, and he went in, and I was sitting in the car, and he had no idea that I was sitting in the car, because I really couldn't go be around nobody. I really was in a space
Mm.
where I really didn't know what I was dealing with. I know I was
Yeah.
feeling my grandma, but all in all, it's like maybe I should. Somebody's struggling with somebody that's close. Somebody's struggling close to me, because I was able to. A lot of people in my family wasn't able to let her impart prayer into them.
Mhm.
Like right before she died, like the first year, and I guess God had to stop it because He know if I would have been going when she died, I would have had a fit. But
Yeah.
I was going, and she was praying and feeding that stuff. Like I'm thinking I'm praying for her, but the whole time she put some stuff in me.
Right.
And it's just like we don't have that no more. Like
Mhm.
it's just so like ain't nobody saying go to church every week and every three
Mhm.
days. Get a relationship with them, and then
Right.
you'll be want to go to church. So that's too like losing that grandma is
Mhm.
it's a lot in that. And like cooking, like I really don't like for holidays. My family don't know this, but I have to really pray to really cook, and have to say,
Mhm.
Lord, I need your help. I need you to get me through this,
Wow.
and I need this food because I be so sad. But they
Yeah.
don't know that I be sad because I literally I be so sad cooking. And
Mm.
sometimes I just be want to do it I do it by myself. I do want the help, but it's certain stuff I want to do. It's certain ways I want to do it. But
Yep.
I just literally just start talking to God and put on my music, and then think of my grandmother, because I found out that the pot that I got home was actually her pot. So it's just
Mm.
like I just be in there cooking, but I can't not forget that I got a family that I got to love on that's
Right.
here and that need my love. So I
Mm.
can't be sad all the time. So I got to deal with what I got to do. So
Yeah.
I losing that grandmother is something serious,
Yeah.
especially around these holidays. And I know a lot of people do struggle with that. And so
Yes.
I just want to tell y'all just love on the family that you do have here, and just to remember. And what then I shift because I start remember, okay, she used to put this in her greens. Or she
Yeah.
used to do this. So I'm so caught up because y'all know my grandma used to cook them greens. So
Mhm.
I'm keeping this ham bone for the next from Thanksgiving to put in my greens because I know she did. I'm going to get these pigtails And so I'm joy and put on my music and try not to be so sad. But I understand everybody don't have that. Everybody don't know how to tap into that and kind of find that peace. But it's important because you got people around you. You got life. And a lot of people don't like to live after death. And it's
Mm-hmm.
so important that it's life after death. And then
Exactly.
listen, I was listening to something and it said, death is not something that happens to life. It happens in life. And
Mm-hmm.
that was like, wow. Because in order to live, you gotta die. Hey, husband, I
Yeah,
love you too. Thank you. In
definitely.
order to live, you gotta die. There's no way you're gonna live in this world and not die. But
Oh yes.
you, the time that you got here, you gotta
Mhm.
live. And my nephew used to say something. I hate he used to say it because he died early in 19. He used to say, you gotta live every day like it's your last. So sometimes sadness, like I was saying, I'd be sad, but I can't give in to sadness. I got
Right.
the shift. Now I'd be like, Holy Spirit, I need your help. I need your help. And I put on music like for Thanksgiving, they was like, I don't know what you did to this food. I was like, well, I just put on me some R&B, me some
Yeah.
Escape. My son say, no, you had on some Noto Wick. I'm like, I don't even know what that is, son. But he was like, it was just that it was love that I needed to pour
Yeah.
because I was missing a part of me. But I got all these other people around that need me. So
Hmm.
I got to give love to them. So a
And
lot of times when you
imagine the
go,
love you spread in that food and the energy you gave off for
mm-hmm,
your family that day.
mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm,
it took a lot out of you, but at the same
mm-hmm,
time, it was because you was putting love in it that you
mm-hmm,
knew had to go to your family members that was gonna be eating it and
mm-hmm.
being around you that day. So I mean, it was all for the good.
And not to mention, not just my family, I fed college students. And to
Oh
me,
yeah.
that's something amazing because like my daughter she was talking noise one day, and I'm like, listen, I got two children in college. I'm gonna
Hmm.
feed that child because I don't know who gotta feed
Exactly.
mine. I don't know
That's the
what my child, what you ain't gonna tell me that you struggling with. I don't know who gonna need to be there for you. So I'm on
mm,
these college students that my son is in contact with. I'm gonna treat them right. I'm gonna
yeah.
feed them because I never know what seed I'm sowing.
Hmm.
So we just
And y'all, if y'all can be a blessing to anybody, I don't care if you just picking up, you fix a couple of plates and just go drop them off to the person that you normally see hanging out on the corner. Spread that love. For those that can do it, go out and do it because it don't take nothing. If you can buy a toy or two for another family, or even people don't understand, we throw away hand-me-down clothes or stuff that we don't want no more, but it's somebody out there that needs that stuff. So just find something and find a way to bless somebody else, because you truly do get blessings in blessing others. Like, that's what Christmas is about, giving. So don't stress about what you can't get for a child that don't necessarily need it. It's just
right.
a want. And do something for somebody that needs something, because I mean, there's a lot of people out here cold. I know here it's supposed to get down, I want to say, to like 47
Wow.
on Christmas. So, and I'm in Jacksonville. It don't normally get cold, but I see so many people laying on the streets. And, so I know I'm going to bless a couple of people. I got clothes that I could give. I got gifts that I could, grab a few things, mainly toiletries for a lot of people that's, hanging on the side of the road.
Mhm.
They might even want to drink, because that's about all some of them even want. And that's not something that they need, but I can almost guarantee that's probably what somebody is going to ask you for if you want to give
Mhm.
out a blessing. Just try to
Mhm.
give them a nice plate, a nice blanket, something. Those the little blankets only $5 in Walmart, or Family Dollars. You can get them a blanket. If it's gonna be cold, you can grab some socks. All of that stuff is a blessing. You know, don't be stressing about nothing. We in the blessing business right now, because we ain't gotta. It's a lot of stuff we don't have to do, but
Right.
there's some people that need our help too. So,
That's right. Instead of be bogged down with our issues and
Mm-hmm.
issues of life. And I know that sounds good, and I mean it may sound harsh, but a lot of times what I found out, kindness, kindness can shift how you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're doing it in a sincerity of
Yeah.
you want to just be kind. Kindness, and I've learned that, like, not trying to brag about what we did this last Saturday, but to be able to give back, like, we have did this for 6 years, right?
Yeah.
But this Saturday, I was able to see, I was blessed. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I was able to see
Yeah.
myself in a different light because it got to a point where we was running behind. So I had
Yeah.
to go out there. You got a lot of people, they're trusting what's inside. They're coming, they're believing in Slayer toys. They believing in the give back.
Mhm.
So you don't know if these people got anything. You don't know who these people is. You don't know. They're struggling. So you don't want to be mean. You don't want to be rude to them. You just want to let them know thank you. You want to thank them from coming, for trusting that you can be able to bless them. That's
Right.
something else when somebody trusts you to give to them. To me, that was just so amazing. And just like it was so many. It was like it was a line of people. I would say over 200 people. We
Wow.
served just that day. And I took the initiative, and I say, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go at the door because the people had to wait at least 30 minutes, right? So if
Mhm.
they had to wait at least 30 minutes, it's my job to bring some joy. I went to
Right.
the door, I brought some joy. I was talking to them, telling them how good they look. You look good. And as they came in, the children, I started giving the children high fives, talking to the
Yeah.
children. And that kind of brought something out of me different than I ever knew that was in me. Because I was
Mhm.
like, oh, wow. And I could have just been, let my husband handle it and, just let everybody else handle it. But I was like, it was something on me like, okay, you got it to see to the people. You got what the
Right.
people need. The people need to see your face. You got the face that they need. So go out there loving, go out there enjoy them. Make them feel like they're amazing, even in the midst of their struggle. Make them
Right.
feel like they're doing you a favor. You understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because they actually are. Because
Yeah.
they're they're coming in. I'm giving to them. We're giving. So they're doing me a favor because I
Mhm.
get the opportunity to give back. That's
Right.
amazing. The people that even believe in about the clout chasing. It's about being
Right.
able to give back to somebody. And a
And
lot
how
of
many
times,
people y'all touch?
right, and the people that you touch, it's something amazing that every year we get to see the children. And a lot of times when we first started doing this, we were struggling. We couldn't buy our children get Christmas gifts,
Mhm.
and people didn't know that. So a lot of times we did have to get sponsors and let people help us because a lot of times we were struggling. Our kids
Yeah.
didn't have Christmas, but we was, because it wasn't because it was on us to give back because we knew how that struggle was. But guess what? Because we gave back, God made a way for our family. He
Exactly.
always made a way. Even every time we thought that we didn't have, like you saying, stressing and some stuff we couldn't
Mhm.
get, and it was the last minute, God always made a way.
Yeah.
Every we went and did that. It was one year where we couldn't even really give to the people, where we didn't really have it. We didn't have the sponsors. He said, okay, just get you a couple of families. And I'm talking about the we was able to give to a couple of families. And that was just so amazing. And then
Yeah.
we had so many people giving to us to give to them. Like we gave a bunch of this lady, I think she had like 6 children. They had no clothes, they had nothing, their house just burnt on fire and stuff like that. Is it's just it's just amazing to be able to do even with your little.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we don't get that being a blessing to somebody can really change who you are.
Mhm.
It really can change the circumstances around you. You just have to make a decision to say, okay, I'm finna not let this me. I'm finna, shift my mind and maybe give in to somebody else. Because kindness is something else.
And when you can
Martin
give,
Twain said, yeah.
if when you can give when you are not able to give,
Mm-hmm.
you get what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
deep. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people might not take, they might not know how to take that, but you gotta learn how to be a blessing even when you can't be a blessing. When you feel like you can't, because you can always be a blessing to somebody, you know. And even if it's a smile, it's a hug, a conversation, you can bless somebody with something when you feeling at your lowest. You
Yeah.
can't, and that takes a lot of strength to do. But if you can do that, yeah, that speaks on your character and the type of person that you are. when y'all were able to give and y'all couldn't even, give to your own kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was a big
Yeah.
thing. And I, you
And
know
it
what, I think that's why I don't stress no more when
mm-hmm.
it comes to a bill or having to do something. Honestly, I used to cry. I used to be depressed. I used
Mm-hmm.
to go through I used to go through all kind of emotions when I didn't know how to manage what I was dealing with. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
stress a lot. But one day I was stressed, and I think it was my lights. My lights were about to get cut off. Yeah, it looked good, but
Mm-hmm.
y'all gotta know that I go through this too. Like, I was struggling. My lights was about to get turned off. I didn't know where the money was gonna come from, and I just said, okay, just pray about it, Shawana. And you ain't got nobody to call, so just pray about it. And I honestly prayed about that thing. That money came through. That bill got paid.
All the time.
And I couldn't even remember like where the money came from. But I know my kids went in the dark, and I didn't have to shed not one tear that day. And from that day forward, nah, I ain't stressed about nothing. I I would literally go down to the last day and the last second, and God always come through. He always come through. And I don't never know how it's gonna happen. I just tell myself I can't stress about it. And even if, I did have to let something get turned off or lose something, I ain't crying about it. I'll get it back later, or I'll figure out how to get it up. Because one thing I do know, I got some hands, I got some feet, I know how to work, and I can figure it out. God gonna make a way.
He
So
gonna
I
make
I
a
don't
way.
stress about it. That's
He
why I'm
gonna make
telling
a way.
y'all, don't stress. It's 5 days until Christmas, y'all. I'm gonna keep stressing this. 5 days.
5 days.
5 days. Ain't no stressing. If
No
you ain't
need.
got it, don't worry about it. If you can't get it, don't stress about it either. The kids gonna be all right. Your
They're
family
gonna
go
be
just
because
get
half
your
of them
family
got
together.
iPhones anyway.
Yeah, they gonna be fine. They listen. If they can't get that gift, guess what? They gonna be in their phone all day.
See, look, back in the days now, we used to have it used to
We
be
used to
well,
be
okay, I'm
outside.
gonna get you one gift, and then
Yeah,
when tax time, we're gonna get you some more gifts.
yeah, exactly.
And you
See, they
had to,
don't know. They don't know about that struggle though. They don't have no idea about that struggle when we ain't have it and we weren't getting it.
and see,
Or
that's what us mothers these days that have children, we gotta go back and think about that. We
yeah,
gotta think about that. Like we don't
yeah, Didi. It's the
gotta
small
give.
things. Yeah.
That's that's true. We don't gotta we don't gotta do that.
Hmm.
You we don't have to go all out.
Yeah.
And I'm not going all out. I'm not.
Yeah. I know.
I'm not. And my children are too old anyway to go all out.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad I got, that 11-year-old and that 14-year-old. My 14-year-old, she a little bougie, but she'll be all right too. That
Yeah.
11-year-old, he easy to please. He easy
And
to
see,
please.
that's what it is when you have a child that's easy to please. That's good. My daughter
Yeah.
normally like that. Well, yeah, yeah, she normally like that. But
Yeah.
she want what she want.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I mean
but
by
see,
bougie. Like, if she want exactly what she want, and I'm
yeah,
like, girl, you'll be okay. You'll be
yeah,
all
but
right.
we
But we
this,
condition them that way. It's a blessing
yeah,
that we
yeah,
are able
yeah,
to
yeah.
do things that we weren't able to do things that we weren't able to see growing up. But shoot, they don't understand. It's a struggle. So when I can't do it, don't be mad and don't be upset. Like, it's okay.
And then
You
what
know.
we do too, this what I do too. I learn how to be honest. Like you gotta
Mhm.
be honest. And
Yeah.
I keep it real with my children. Like I don't sugarcoat. Like it ain't like I'm telling them stuff for them to worry about my business or worry about my
Yeah.
bills. But you gotta keep it real. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. Children have not you not been honest with these
Honest
children.
with them.
Because at the end of the day, they got to be prepared for a world out here too. Because you buy them everything, they going to get everything. They gonna think that they can go in this world too when they get older and buy everything that they want. And guess what? They gonna be not paying bills and they gonna not
Mhm.
be doing what they need to do. And guess what? Every time you turn around, your phone gonna be ringing.
Bring it. Yeah.
Now you don't put side this child up to be entitled for their whole life. And that's what I be telling my children. And I like that my children do that, but sometimes it scares me because they're so independent. And
Independent.
it's so scary because like if God don't alert me something going on, I don't know it. And it
Hmm.
just it sometimes it be like, and I just had to come have a
Yeah.
conversation with my daughter and my son. I'm like, I know y'all watched us do what we do, move, and it was me and your dad, and we did certain stuff, but y'all don't got to do that because
Yeah.
that was something we grew up to do. That was something that we did amongst each other. But y'all
Yeah.
got family. Y'all don't have to want for nothing. Y'all don't have to struggle.
Yep.
If we can help y'all can pick up a phone. I know we struggled a lot of time. I know we was in a struggle for the last 8 years because we was in transition. I
Yeah.
get it and I understand that, but never get out here in this world and feel like you can call your mom and
Mama. Yeah.
let her give you some insight, or if she got some, you don't know what I got, and that's the pitfall too of
Mm.
having them too independent. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, they gotta know that
They can
they
come to
need
you.
to be able to stand on their own. They can stand with you too.
Yeah.
So in some situations they gotta be independent. Like my daughter was saying, well, mom, I'm gonna have to be independent in certain situations. I understand that. I fall back, I get that. But I don't want you out here and you need help. Don't ever be out here and you need
Ex-
help. And you know I can help you. So
That's true.
that's key. That's important too. But we can't like the children. We don't got it, mamas. We just don't got it. We
Yeah.
don't
When
got it, daddy. We just don't got it. One thing we are responsible for, and someone who told me this, somebody told me this. We supposed to provide their necessities and everything extra. Everything else is extra.
yeah.
Everything else we do is extra. And if we do it, if we can do it, we can do it. If we can't, we can't. But by being 5 days for Christmas, there's no need to stress.
Yeah.
Cause there's no need to stress. There's
It
no need to
ain't
stress.
no reason at all.
There's no need to stress.
And I'm gonna say this all night. If you can't
There,
get, don't worry about it. If you
there's
can't
no
get it,
need.
don't worry about it. There is no need for it.
And
Cause
make
God gonna make a way for everything that is needed. So ain't no need of you worrying about what you can't get. So
and one thing I say, if you praying about it, why worried about it?
yeah,
Like
you can't pray and worry now.
you
That
cannot. And
you can't do
oh, that
both.
used to be one of my biggest things. I used to pray. You should just worry, just worry, just worry. And things seem like they just got more worse and more worse and more aggravating and more worse because my focus got off my prayer and my focus stayed on my problem. And that's
Mhm.
what's going on too. Like I focus so much on our problem, and we are like we don't act if we don't got a solution. I know sometimes it can be hard. You may not have the money, but it's all somebody I used to work with told me it's a solution for everything.
It
If it's a
is.
problem, it's a solution. You just got to
Figure
first
out the
get up.
solution.
It's a solution. If
Hmm.
you got to ask for some help. We talked about that last week. Ask
Yeah.
for some help. Now you can't trust everybody, but first thing you got to get on your face and ask for some help.
Yeah.
And having trusted people that you know that you can go to, that you can trust with your vulnerability is very important,
Right.
especially around this time. Is very important because
And
we
I
know
know.
stress. Go ahead, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say if I know somebody got a friend that's been stressing, or they've been stressing, y'all been talking to each other about stressing about Christmas. Y'all just pull together. Y'all come together and make it happen together, and that'll alleviate some stress. Like
That's
people be thinking, oh, we go over there, they kids got this, and our kids ain't gonna have. No, a lot of the times everybody be dealing with some of the same stuff, so they probably don't got it
mhm.
either. And this Christmas, make it your best. We ain't trying to impress nobody. Impressing somebody causes stress.
Come on here. I like that.
Impressing somebody gonna cause you some stress. So y'all just get together, make it do what it do. Put on something old if you have to, and y'all hang together and have a good time. Make some dinner, play some cards, get together like a family. The kids know they talk anyway. We don't even know they be talking, but they be talking,
Right, right,
and
right,
they get them together, and they gonna have a merry old time.
right.
Well,
And
I
they don't
couldn't
need
get
it.
this, but my mama said she gonna get it tax time. Cause we do. We gonna come through on tax time if we can. We ain't gonna tell you we can get it then if we ain't. And
Right.
that's what we do. It is what it is.
Don't come
This is
through.
what's really going on. People ain't talking about it, but that's, hey, I can't get it for Christmas,
Right.
but you'll get it tax time, or we just can't get it.
And
It's
then I'm
either
gonna say
we
this
can't.
now to cut you off. It don't make you, and I gotta say this, it
Mhm.
does not make you less of a mom.
Yes.
The fact
Oh, that's
that you
big.
can get certain things for your child, for your children. It does not make you less of a mom. It
Yeah.
just make you human.
Yeah.
Because we're living in a world where they want a lot of things want us to be in poverty. It's set up for us to struggle.
Yeah.
So you're not a bad mom. All right, so stop. You're not a
No,
bad.
that's good.
You're
That's
not a
good.
bad parent, and that's what I had to put in my long time because I've been out of work for 8 years, and I feel like I can do this for my children. My husband
Mhm.
had to do it all, and they couldn't come to me. So for a long time, I stopped feeling like I was a mother, and I
Mm.
put myself. I'm honestly, literally, this year. And some days I do it be like, okay, Avante, you got 3 children. Some days I have to remind myself, like, you got children. You're a mom and you're a great mom.
Mm.
For a long time I didn't think I was a good mom because certain stuff I couldn't get for my children. Certain I went buying them Christmas like I used to buy 'em. They didn't have all this different stuff that I couldn't buy them Jordans like they used to have. They used to have Vans. They used to be dressed to the T and this kind of stuff like that. And but right now we only got one income coming in. And my
Mhm.
husband kind of scared, so he ain't gonna spend the money like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I would do with the two incomes coming in. He ain't gonna flourish a little bit like I
Yeah,
do.
you know the
You know what I'm
men be
saying?
tighter than we are.
They're a little tight because I already know I'm gonna get it back some type of
Yeah.
way. So but I was like that. I for a long time, I didn't think I was a good mom because I couldn't buy
Mm.
my children stuff they wanted, like certain stuff they wanted, or and it was a time where a certain outfit they wanted, I couldn't buy it. I
Yeah.
felt like I was less than a mom, but you're not less than a mom because you can't get certain things. You're
Right. Yes.
human going
Oh,
through a period of time that all humans go through unless you was born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And the
yeah.
truth of the matter is struggle too, but it just ain't money, it's mental.
Right.
Half of their mind don't be together.
Mhm.
And they fall out with each other about money. That's an whole other subject, but
Yeah.
they so don't you're not a bad mother. You're not a bad father. You're you're
Right.
not you're not a bad parent if Christmas morning come and you don't have
Right.
it. This is what you do on Christmas morning. Get your children. You love on them. You
Exactly.
love talk to them, hug them, kiss them, love on them, and
Make
y'all have a
breakfast.
real conversation. Talk to them. Tell them about this world. And situations like that, they give you an opportunity to talk to these kids about this world. You got to prepare the world out here because it's not easy. It's not gonna make it. It's not gonna. They're not making it easy for us to survive in this world. They're not.
Right.
You going to college, you getting a college degree. Some of college degrees are like high school diplomas.
Mhm. Can't do nothing with it.
Like a high school diploma. Like I got 2 degrees. If I don't go get master after master after master, it ain't too much. You know what I'm saying? Too much
Mhm.
I can. So it's
I don't know. How many of y'all can show some hearts that you felt like a bad when you felt like a bad parent because you couldn't get it? Because I know we ain't the only ones that done felt like this before. I know somebody else done felt this. Like, because I know it was a time I felt that way too. Like, oh, I should have been able to do this and that. Nah, that don't make you bad at all.
and then I
Don't.
thought of my kids held it against me. So
Hmm.
when I started coming out and flourishing and doing all this, and they began to talk in the conversation, I'm like, I felt like I went comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I was shocked. But
Mhm.
in the years that I was able to, I built a relationship. See, I forgot about the relationship that
That
I
you have
built
built.
with them.
Dang. And that's good
Mhm.
though.
Ask that
Because
question
we
again.
think
We
they
got
don't
some
be
more people
listening. We
that
think they don't be watching.
we got some few more people to that just joined back. So you ask that question again. Have you ever have any ever
Y'all
felt like a
ever
bad mom?
felt? like a bad parent because you weren't able to provide for your kids or provide Christmas. Not necessarily just provide, but mainly Christmas. Because I know y'all ladies make it happen. Or guys, I don't know if we got some guys tuning in, but drop some hearts if you ever have felt like that because you weren't able to provide or have ever heard anyone say that, because I know some people dealing with it or done dealt with it before.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Y'all come on. Sylvia, you still on here, Sylvia? I
They'll,
see Teresa join. If I don't be looking down, I don't see Barrett. Oh,
yeah.
I'm starting to
I
see
was
him.
trying to yeah, I was trying to watch the news feed when they post. But
I can
yeah.
see, like last week, I couldn't see none of my reactions, so I didn't know when nobody reacted to my video. But I
Yeah, you have
guess
to keep tapping it because it'll
this
go
week.
up.
Hey, those are that you just tuning in. We just asked the question: has anybody ever felt like a bad parent because you couldn't get Christmas? Have you ever felt like you're a bad parent? Nobody want to answer. So, they may be acting a little shy, but
Yeah.
you're not a bad parent because you can't. Things happen. You're human. We're human. Life happens.
I'm
We
trying
don't been on here a while. Shawana, you got some more you want to say?
I mean, I'm just trying to think of some of the things that people actually deal with around the time. I think we pretty much covered a lot of them, like with, losing a loved one and spending that holiday without them. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit more, but
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
you know, because I know that's why I want to be, close to be able to see my mom for Christmas. I didn't see her for Thanksgiving, but you know, I know my mom deals with the death of my sister. So, we want to try to love on her and keep her
Mm-hmm.
encouraged because I know she gets down and she gets sad because, she lost her baby. I've never
Mm-hmm.
lost a child. So I don't know how that feels, you know, but I can only imagine. So we just try to, keep her encouraged. Her mom is not here either. So it's like she don't really got nobody to talk to. And she bottles up a lot of stuff. So when we get around her, we try to, stay on it and make her talk because she ain't really just gonna talk. But,
Mm-hmm.
it's always good to be able to get under her and still up. That's my mama. Regardless of we done been through a lot of different things throughout life, but if anybody like me, I still want to curl up next to my mama and lay up and laugh at her and be able to be in her presence. I want to feel
Mm-hmm.
like a baby too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I still enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
So love on who's there. Don't try to make any replacements, but just try to find ways to make a memory with that loved one, or or do something in remembrance of a loved one that passed away. I think that's a good way to try to deal with it, or cope through it, because it's never going to be the same. But at the same time, when you lose somebody, it's not meant for you to lose yourself at the same time. So, we just take that in consideration these holidays. And if you know somebody that lost someone, love on them. You
Love
know.
on them. And that's my biggest thing. Like this, and I don't try to, like, if like I had a couple of friends. Like I know one of my friends just lost her dad. I haven't texted in a while, but I make sure I text. I know one of my friends just lost a mom. It's
Mhm.
very important to check on your people. Like I made
Yeah.
a post about that strong friend. A lot of people
Mhm.
they they look to their strong friend, but they don't really check. You know what I'm saying? But the strong friend do need to have somebody else that they can talk to and confide in
Talk
to
to,
keep them
yeah.
going. But you gotta check. And that was my thing too. But like with my grandma, I guess everybody think I had it. I handled it. So a lot of people didn't check. So during the holidays, you didn't see, a lot of people don't check. But check on people that have lost somebody because they struggling. They got to know that people there is love them. Love on them. Because don't get me wrong, people deal with grief differently. But
Yeah.
it's not healthy to grieve all the time. You see what I'm saying? It's not
Mm.
healthy to let grief take over you.
Over
If
you,
it
yeah.
makes sense, like if you're if something's supposed to, you're supposed to experience a happy moment, it's not grief. That's a trick of the enemy. And I'm just gonna say it. You know,
Yeah.
everybody might not believe that, but to be in sadness is, don't get me wrong, you gonna hurt, but take that moment and hurt and get up out of that thing. Don't
Yeah.
sit there, because one thing I had to learn about grief, if you sit grief too long, grief is going to weigh on you, and
Ooh.
every other feeling that you used to feel, it's going to come back. It's going to bring
Yeah.
anger, it's going to bring frustration, it's going to bring all these different type of stuff, and you're going to be set down, and grief done
Took
put
over
you in
you.
a
Yeah.
chokehold, and now anger on you. Now you feeling how people don't love you. Now you got all these different feelings on you because grief don't swallow you up. So I when I go, like I was saying, how my grandma was on my heart so heavy. I cried, but I was like, okay, I need to no, don't.
Gotta
I'm not
shake it.
telling people to cry, but I need to shift up out of this, because now it's taking me to a ugly, it's taking me to a moaning, and I'm thinking about all the other people that ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
okay for me to grieve for her. I gotta grieve for her, but I got to live.
Yeah, you got to.
Because if, and then I look at it like this, if I'm so caught up on who ain't here, God gonna say, okay, I'll let you be here. You got work to do. Okay.
Mm.
Are you gonna move on? Like, and I'm not saying move on, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
live. Cause
but you
like
have
I
to. You
said,
got to continue to live.
death ain't something, I don't know who said this. Death ain't something that happens to life. It happens in life. So
Mhm.
it's like, and like now, times I'd be like, I'm so numb to it. Like if somebody tell me they somebody died, I really can't really feel like they need me to feel, because I don't have to break up with grief.
Yeah,
Because not losing my grandma, losing my nephew, when my nephew got killed, that took me into the darkest space of my life. And I didn't know how dark it took me until like 2017. And my nephew got killed in 2009.
wow.
I was in darkness for almost 8 years. Didn't even know how much anger and how much frustration I was in. So I always try to tell people, I know you deal with grief differently, but come, if you can, come up out of that.
Yeah,
Moan for them while you on, while it's on you. No, ask yourself, even pray about that. While I'm feeling this, is something on me. Go ahead and grieve right there, but let it stay right there.
yeah,
Don't keep carrying it with you, because it's
yeah,
gonna take you to different places.
yeah.
That's why I was like, Lord, because he showed me my grandma dying. He showed me everything, y'all. When I tell y'all he showed me everything. And for 2 years, my mind was gone to a place, because in my heart, it was like, Avante, you want your grandma to die. But it wasn't. It was like God showed me, he told me, like he literally said,
Prepare
I'm
for it.
coming to
Yeah.
get her. He really prepared me. I'm coming to get her right for her birthday.
Mm,
40 days for her birthday, he came and got her.
mm. He
Told me
just
what I
got
was
you ready.
gonna do. That's what I'm like. He got me literally ready. And when he did that, and I can feel death, like when somebody die in my family, it sits on me so heavy. Like when death coming, I can feel it. And I'm like, I don't want to have to. I got this gift to know death coming. I don't want grief to always rob me of life,
Mhm.
because I
Yeah,
got the gift. Because in two, like, and I don't want to. I'm going here
I
like
got.
April when all those people was dying, like Aretha, what her name, Aretha Franklin, somebody else.
Yeah.
All those people was dying like that right before they died. God allowed me. He told me. We was at church one day. He said, "I need you to speak. They're about to be dropping like flies," and that was 2022. And I didn't know I was gonna lose my grandma, my best, one of my close friends,
Hmm.
all that in the same year. And I had to stand up and prophesy that. In 2022, 2021, they dropped like flies. I mean, 2020, they was dropping like flies. Like
Yeah.
everybody, they was dying like this, like that. So I really had to break up with grief. Like I couldn't, because so much death was going on till it came, it was norm. So it was like, okay, if so much death coming on, that means in some type of way we can handle a little bit of it. We just got to shift our minds and don't let grief rob us of
Right.
living, because it will rob
Hmm.
you of living.
And it'll rob the people living, like, not only when you take yourself into grief mode, you taking yourself out of life, but remember you got people around you too. So guess what? you done took yourself out their life too, and you don't even realize it. So you can't just sit in it. You can't sit in that type of stuff. And that's why he showed you and prepared you for your grandma too, because he knew he just brought you out of depression with your nephew.
Mhm.
He ain't trying to
Mhm.
let you go back there.
Mhm.
He wouldn't let you go back. So he showed you in advance. And
Mhm.
that's crazy. But
Mhm.
he works like that.
He works like that.
He definitely works like that.
He works like that, and it was just so crazy because he was like, it just so crazy because he one day I was praying. He said, you gonna lose two grandmas, and you gonna see one." And I'm like, okay, I only had one grandma growing up, but Willie
Mhm.
grandma was my grandmother,
Mhm.
both of them.
Right.
But Meg Helen, that was the one I spiritually talked to. She was the one
Mhm.
I talked to her a lot. So that was like my grandmother, and I call her grandma. So
Yeah.
that was just like, woo! I went and we weren't expecting to lose her. She just died out of the blue, and she died before Betty. I mean
Mhm.
Bessie. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. I was like, Jesus. Lord, I pulled that out of the atmosphere. But anyway,
Yeah.
and I was like, Lord, and it's just, and I was afraid of that because I didn't cry. I didn't break. But at her funeral, I broke down. Like I really, really broke down. And it was
Mhm.
just like, that was it. She was gone. It was it. So a lot of times death, we can't let death rob us of life. And I know the holidays make you think about your people, but you got to think about people that's here. Your
Right.
children need. Tell my husband. That's why I pray for my husband. When death come around, he don't know that because when his granddaddy died, that like death like took him somewhere. Like when you lose people that's so close to you, and a part of your heart go, it can take you to some deep, dark places.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, come up out of that.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to come up out of that, go get you some help. Talk to somebody. It's not normal to always think about dead people. That's not normal. I know
Yeah.
if it was I know it's your mom. I know you miss her. I know you love her. But it's not normal to do that. That's
Mhm.
not normal.
That's
Because
true.
it's not normal. It's
And
not.
dude, I'm still trying to recover. Like I ain't sitting in it, but I lost my sister. Then within 6 months, I lost my dad too. And
My
now
condolences.
you know, like you didn't see my dad around growing up,
Mm-hmm.
so he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily there. But we had just start kind of like building a closer relationship, like getting to know him. Um, and then I lost him.
Wow. That's a
So
lot.
it was really hard, honestly, to kind of deal with it and like cope with it. And like the funeral, everything just went
Mm-hmm.
different than I expected. And it was like so much to try to like recover from. So it was so much that I had to try to, wrap my brain around it. Like this whole
Mm-hmm.
year, and I probably just came to this revelation since like while we're here on this live. Like I've sat down pretty much this whole year. Remember, I was telling you earlier, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't accomplish
Mm-hmm.
throughout that throughout this year that I plan on accomplishing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that it was time for me to like kind of sit still for a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
figure things out, figure out what Shawana wants and what she needs, what she gotta have, and how
Mm-hmm.
to like maneuver, you
Mm-hmm.
know, after death and after like moving to another state. I think that's why I've been sat down, like to process it all, and I
Mm-hmm.
just gotta deal with it. And I think I'm slowly, I slowly learned so much about myself over this short time. I'm talking about relationship wise, like I let everything go in 2021. And so 2022, I just, I was a little still, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that was needed, and it was on purpose
Mm-hmm.
to try to regain, so I can continue to help people.
Mm-hmm.
If I can share some stuff that I went through, I'm all for it. I just couldn't sit. like I didn't know how to process that death. Neither
Mhm.
one, because I was still trying to be strong for other people. In one
Mhm.
situation, it was my grandma, and then the other situation, it was my mama. So yeah, it was like, okay, you gonna have to sit down and deal with it and think
Mhm.
about it. That's what I meant last week when I said God gonna he'll sit you down. And even though this wasn't the type of sit down that I had before with him, it was, now that I think about it, it was okay. It was a little calmer than last time, but he was like, sit down. I need to talk to you. I need to work on you. And I think that's what I've been dealing with. And I'm learning that through death and just learning to like continue on with life. You got to. Cause
Cause
if
this
I let
deal with
you
is a
be
different deal
down,
with.
yeah, yeah. So I think that yeah, you definitely can't let grief take
Okay.
you away from life. Like that was death. That was big.
Yeah,
And
you can't.
oh, and I know so many people that's doing it. And I
So many
hope my
people
mama tune in. I really hope my mama tune in to this because that's what
like
we stay on her about. She
it's
can't
so
bring her
like
back. You got to continue living. You
yeah, you gotta
girl, you
continue.
still young. Get out here and live like my mom don't go nowhere. She don't do nothing. Like we
Mm.
try to get her to go to parties and she don't do nothing.
Yeah, you have to love her where she's at to pull her.
Mhm. Yeah,
Because like people deal with grief different, and
different.
you
Yeah,
gotta pull and pray, and that strain of grief, because it is different. It really is different. It's different from different people, but it's
and that
important that we gotta live, man.
yeah.
Because
And I'm
one thing
doing
I
the
had to
talking. I gotta
understand,
call my grandma.
what I understand is like people depend on me to live. And that's
Mm,
what when I kind of got, I was almost in a space like that when I almost like to got there, and it
mm-hmm.
hit me. One day I was listening to Kelsey song. Like one day I woke up and God was that keep pushing was in my ear.
Yeah.
It was like, you gotta help. So you gotta open your mouth. You gotta talk.
Mm,
You got people depending on you. You can't go in a deep dark. You can't go in the darkness. You can't go where you went when Junior died, when Uncle David died, and Uncle Peanut
yeah.
died. You can't
Yeah.
do that. When in 2016, in 2016 I had like 6 people to die in my family. Like they ain't never happened. Like I'm talking about they was
Back to
close to
back.
me. First
Mm-hmm.
started with one of my uncles, my uncle-in-law, then my auntie April, then my uncle
Yeah.
David, then another one, then another one, then another one. I'm talking about and not just that, and then life was pulling from under me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like, oh my God. And I really thought I didn't know what doing. But he was building me to stand, like you said. Like a lot of times we go through stuff and we don't know why we're going through it.
Yeah.
And my apostle always say this, and I ain't for her tonight. She always say that when you in there, get something out of what you're going through. Like you
Yeah.
just said, you learning about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
get something out what you're going through. And I
Yeah.
had to really losing people had to really shift my mind because those people I lost, they believed in who I was. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I didn't
Yeah.
just lose anybody. I lost 2 uncles that believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
That was something to me. Even the aunt that believed it. That was that. Not just using my grandma. My grandma believed in me too.
Mm-hmm.
But in that time, I didn't really have a lot of male figures speaking in my life. But to have that one male figure ever since I've been a little child speaking in my life, to
Yep.
just up and leave like that, that was heavy. That
Mm-hmm.
was heavy. And then not just that, I met a church where they're shifting from who I had already, and I'm gonna say this live because I'm just gonna do what God say. I had already saw God leave, but now the who God showing me they it was now I got to see it in my face. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing for God to show you something about somebody and let
Yeah.
you move, but it's another thing for him to show you and let you sit in it.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing. That means you got to
Mm-hmm.
sit there and you actually see this for yourself. You gonna either nut up or go to God. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to make a decision. I'm finna go ahead and nut up or go to God. So that just was it's a lot that we gotta be mindful of
Yeah.
because whew, a lot of stuff can rob you, and grief is one of them. It can go into so many different ways. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
and losing all those people like that, then losing my grandmother, it just yeah. Whew. And I know you losing a sister, dad, and
Yeah.
I know your dad. He was around. I mean, I know Puncharilla. Losing
Yeah.
him, it was just crazy. And
Mhm.
then like when I lost my grandmother, I came in 2001. My mama get sick
Mhm.
this year, and I ain't said this openly live. First beginning of this year, I've been sick all this year, literally. Just found out what was wrong with me, literally. Just
Wow.
found out. Just found out. Just found that. But God told me in May, He told me in when it was March, May, He said His purpose. Now, I
Mhm.
didn't get it. Like, I didn't get it. Start out with a hurt ankle. My ankle start hurt. It ain't even my ankle. It's a
Wow.
back. I got a this tore in my back. So my back been messed up. So I ain't been able to drive for 9 months. If I drive, I'm gone. I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even in the midst of this, all this stuff I went through, like you said, but God has
Mhm.
helped me, has sustained me. Like just this year, and
Yeah.
I was finna get ready to say that openly. They found 3 spots on my dad. 3 spots. 3 spots. I just got out of losing my grandma. Just had a health issue with my mom. Now I come in the 3 spots on
Mhm.
different parts of his body. So I say, God, now come on now. I just lost my grandma now. I've been
Mhm.
asking you to get a relationship with my dad. Come on now, God.
Mhm.
Now these spots, when we go by, they gotta be gone. We need these to be not benign. And when
Yeah.
I tell you, I kid you not, yes he is, Didi. When I tell you, they was benign. I'm talking about he had spots, liver, lungs, all the places that's
Wow.
supposed to been out of him. I'm talking
Mhm.
about literally, literally. And I'm like, okay, well, I went through all that hurt that I went through, losing all my uncles, losing my grandma, all that stuff I went through. So my prayers now I can believe in what I'm praying.
Mm. Yeah.
So now I can call healing to my family when I
Yeah.
need to. So a lot of things we suffer through, it be for the greater good of things, and we don't understand it now.
Understand it at the time. Yeah.
While we're going through that situation, that's why I don't look at situations like earlier, and I'm gonna say this before I got on thing. I was like, it was so much going on, and I could say like, no, I ain't gonna do this, but it's a reason. It gotta be
Yeah.
done. Look, we've been in here an hour in. So many
Yeah.
people don't jump out, jump in, but
Yeah.
somebody need to hear the message of you gotta keep going, even
Yeah.
when it don't look like it's gonna work out. You gotta keep striving to keep going
Yeah.
because it's a plan. We must stand in the gap for our family. Yes, we gotta
Yeah. We
pray.
do.
We never know the situation that we're dealing with. It sometimes, and what I'm learning too, a lot of times when I deal with stuff, it ain't even for me
Yeah.
because I'm an intercessor, right? If I'm working for God, He gonna put stuff on me that certain people can't handle. Just like I told
Mm.
you earlier, I said maybe I'm feeling some type of way. Man, I'm feeling the weight of the people. A little bit is going off on me, but I need to eat too. So I'm feeling
Yeah.
a little weight gone, but I need to eat. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you never know why you're going through stuff. So that's
Yeah.
why I had to shift. I had a little moment of breakdown, like Lord, have mercy. Did I do something wrong? But sometimes we gotta shift because we never know what God is preparing.
Right.
We never know what God is preparing through our hurt, through our pain. And I did a sermon called When Purpose Hurt. Sometimes that thing gonna hurt just to
Yes.
get you just
Yes.
gonna get you to the place that you need to get. And like I didn't understand it. Like I still gotta have shot. I gotta get a shot in my body. I gotta have therapy, but I don't have to have back surgery. You understand what I'm saying? So I I be in pain sometimes, but it's
Yeah.
manageable. I
Push
can
through. Yeah.
handle it. I can push through it. Sometimes I can't. That's why I don't drive. That's why I don't drive. That's like I don't drive because they're gonna drive me into a lot of pain that I don't want to deal with. And I don't like to
Mhm.
be in pain because pain makes me aggravated and it makes me be mean. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be,
You don't want to feel like
I
that.
don't want to be mean to people. You see what I'm saying? So I always ask God, help me with this pain. I don't want to be, well, I'm gonna say it don't make me be mean, but it make people be mean. And I don't like that. I don't like to be in pain. But anyway, I said a whole lot. But we just gotta just keep going.
Yeah. And
Keep
Didi
going.
too, you know your grandma used to, have the food going, everybody going
Mhm.
by grandma's house. So Didi done been through. Didi know we just gotta pull our families together and make sure we
Mhm.
still, we, like you said, we gotta stand in that gap
We
and
gotta
bring our families together. It
sure
I
do.
don't I don't even want to pull this, but us us with this melanin skin, we gotta learn how to save our families. We gotta do something. We can't just let them be out here living crazy. Somebody gotta bring this thing together. And if it's you and your family, make it happen. Cause
Yes, you sure did. You just to yes, you did.
what
My
happened?
condolences. Yes, you did. Mika.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, my
Yes,
baby.
yes,
Yes,
yes. That was everybody, baby.
yeah,
She used to beat me up a little bit, so I used to run.
yeah. She used to beat me up and cuss me out, but that was my
So I used to run a little bit. But
yeah.
what gets me is the memories. And like I'm sitting up here talking, and we're talking about grandma. I had the opportunity to write a poem for my grandma, but
Hmm.
I wasn't able to say it. And I think that's probably why I cried so much at a
Hmm.
funeral, because I really wanted to let her see who I had become.
Yeah,
But the
she
whole
already
time
know.
she had already knew,
She already know.
because if y'all know my grandma, you ain't finna pray for her.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Me too.
Girl, yeah.
I literally, yeah, I wonder that too. Me too.
Child, she'll be a trip right now. Going off on these people and I could just
Yeah,
imagine her right now.
yeah,
Going slap off on them folks. She used to be she used to give me that one hand like this all the
yeah.
time. And she be talking trash to you and she be
Yeah,
pointing the
always
finger.
talking trash. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh man.
She stayed talking trash. Well, see, that's what,
Oh
a lot of times God sends us reminders. Cause listen, y'all,
yes.
and I'm not trying to replace my grandmother, but like I always, y'all hear me, you always hear me talk about my apostle, because I gotta respect.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna say her name, but it's like God, like soon as my grandma was transitioning out, like shift
Mhm.
her in my life. And it was like on steroids, like it was Besame on steroids, because she was
Yeah.
giving me that word. She gonna sit down with you with that word. Besame will just tell you about it, but she gonna sit down and she gonna point to it, and it was like, wow. So if my grandma wouldn't have been around, maybe I couldn't,
Yeah,
God,
you
and
wouldn't have
I
met
couldn't
her yet.
met her, because I wouldn't have gave her a chance. I'd be like, okay, but Bessie, I
Yeah.
couldn't have been able to reach as many people, and that's why, like I said, like as I'm on here, I put this in my mind. Every time I stand up to a podium, every time I open my mouth, my grandma opened her mouth.
Mhm.
She's
Wow.
with me. She put it in me. So that's how I have to look at it. Like every time I open her mouth, I open my mouth, it's Bessie Mae. And every time
Mhm.
like I'm praying for somebody, it's her.
She come
Like
out here.
it's like
And,
it's like God transformed it.
and Vunty, like your apostle. I'm not sure if like I'm older now, but if my memory is right, your apostle, Miss Mary, was her and my grandmother used to work together at the
At Big
cleaners.
East,
And I
she
used to be in the cleaners with them, ironing stuff and pressing stuff when I was a little girl.
ain't
And I
that's
still
wow.
remember her to
Wow.
this day. When I see her, I know that lady from so. And when it hit me, I was like, that was my baby. She used to give me all kind of snacks, give me all kind of stuff. That was one of my grandmas too at that
Wow.
cleaners because I used to go up there and work with them. And I was a little girl. I wasn't old enough, so I wasn't really pressing stuff. But shoot, I
Mm,
can iron to this day. I know how
mhm.
to make them creases just as hard as they used to make them when they put them on that press. Um, all because of them, because I was up there with them in the
Mhm,
cleaners. While my grandma babysitting me, and my mama probably was at work, but I went to work with her
mhm.
because everybody at the cleaners knew who I was.
Right.
And
That's
if I
amazing.
I don't remember none of the other faces, but I remember Miss Mary. And tell her I remember her. I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
she
make
remember.
sure I tell.
But yeah,
she
they worked
probably she
together.
probably do.
They worked together at
Yeah,
them cleanup 3 years. But
and
I
it's
don't know if
crazy.
she can put two and two together like me as an adult. Cause
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I
You know,
was.
she a little older. She may can. She may
Yeah,
remember your grandma. She
yeah.
may remember your grandma. Yeah.
They don't remember nothing. I mean, they don't forget
she
nothing.
she probably can. she probably can.
I'm saying they don't forget nothing. Really
They
don't.
don't. They remember faces.
Hmm.
But it's just, you never know who God is allowed to come in your life when you lose
Yeah.
something. Anything that it's just that you gotta just we gonna we gotta remember that death is not something that happens to life, it happens in life. And I'm gonna
Hmm.
hang by that now. it
Yes.
happens
And
in
you
life.
gotta say that other quote too, cause that was big.
Which
Can't
one?
live in that grief.
Yeah,
When you
you
live
can't
in,
you cannot let grief stop you from living. You can't.
yeah, don't let grief rob you of life.
That's
I
what it is. Well, you
I
know it.
reposted it. I
Don't
had
you
to repost it.
you can't let grief, and maybe a status we need to post when we get off here.
Yeah.
You can't, man. And I see a lot of people doing that. Oh, it's the holidays. I'm starting to miss my mom and this and that. And I be want to
Mhm.
feel sorry for that. I want to show empathy for that. But I be like, come up out of that. Come on, y'all
Yeah,
home. You got children
got
that
to.
need you. You got people that really, really need you. It's okay to miss the stuff that ain't. It's okay to miss and to grieve about them, but come up out of that. Because you
Yeah.
got people that really is dependent on you to live.
Hmm.
They depending on the happiness inside of you. And I know, don't get me wrong, we all be sad. We all have our we all have our struggles that we go through, and we all can't, give it, we all can't always push ourselves to the side and think about other people.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you know that grief is taking over you and it's causing you to be depressed, causing you to be frustrated, causing you to be angry, causing you to be bitter,
Hmm.
you got to shift from that because it ain't
Yeah.
healthy.
It's not.
It's not a help to you, it's a hurt to you.
Yeah.
And
And the people around you, cause they lose you too.
the people around you. Welcome, Didi, and the people around you because they're gonna start looking at you different. They gonna try to be there for the grief, but some people ain't gonna. Cause that was my biggest thing. Like I could understand that, and I was like, God, I'm here. I'm here. Like why? Like I can understand that. I'm here.
Hmm.
Like I'm here. They ain't here. At least let me know how you feel. If you missing them, talk to me. Like some of us like to get in dark grief. And what I mean
Yeah.
by dark grief is we just be in it by ourselves and don't say nothing. Like I
Hmm.
made that post about my grandma yesterday because I had to get that off me.
Yeah.
Because maybe one of my cousins maybe was feeling it, or maybe they may need me to pray for them. I don't know. I had to get that off me. I cried. I made a post because I was missing her. She was on my heart, and literally she's still on my heart right now. So I really got to go in
It's
the
all
prayer and
right
say,
to
God,
cry.
why I'm feeling her? What is it? Is it because it's close to the holidays? Is my mom okay? Because my mom just got sick. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
what is it? What is it? So it's it's a lot that's been going on that I just have
Yeah.
to keep pushing through.
Yeah. And you gonna get through it. He
Mhm,
gonna find a way to make it
mhm,
right. You just gotta. He wants you to find the right words and the right coping mechanisms, because you know you have to find a way to cope.
mhm.
You know, we don't want y'all to forget your loved ones,
Yeah,
but you gotta find a way to cope with them being gone too, because
yeah.
it's
Say that
stuff
because
that
I
they
need
still
to
want you
make
here to
sure.
do. Yeah,
Yeah, don't forget
it's
about them
stuff.
because you
Yeah,
got to keep memories alive. I know I had a saying that I used to say, but I don't forgot it.
and
Hmm.
I call. Speaking of this, I've been doing real bad. I ain't talked to my grandma, and
Oh
I
yeah,
need
you
to
got.
talk. I need to talk to my dad's mom. I mean my dad's mom, because I've been I haven't been, but it's been kind of hard. It's more to do with my dad's death than with her. Um,
Because a lot of times you don't know the words to say.
yeah, and
That's
yeah,
what it is.
and
That's what
see,
it
it's
is.
she mentioned something to me about she never got over grieving her dad, and now she's lost a son.
Hmm.
So Sometimes that could take a toll on somebody. So it's a lot, but I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Yeah, you
I
gotta make sure you do that. Cause I
yeah,
try to make, and I had fell off with my mama, and I said I'm gonna make sure I stay on that because she lost her mom, but
yeah.
she lost. I'm talking about Miss Deborah. You remember? You know Miss Deborah? They used to be
She
her best
lost her
friend.
best friend too.
Right. It wasn't just that best friend. She lost another best friend. She just was losing best friends after best friends after best friends after best
Dang.
friends. So that's that there. And like my uncle was her those two of my uncles that died, that was her very, 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 very best friend. And
Mm,
then she lost Miss Deborah. First she lost Miss Barbara.
mm,
That was one of her, so I try to, keep life in her. Like when she gets sick, I try to make sure, like last week, she was in the hospital.
mm,
She called me. She was on me heavy that week, and I was like, "Well, my mom don't call me that much. I ain't finna call." But I had to shift my mind. So let me call her because
yeah,
maybe she can call me for a reason. And then she was on me heavy. So I called her, and I was fussing at her. She was like, "I ain't been to the doctor." I was like, "Mom," she was telling me she was hurting. She been in bed for a couple of
yeah,
weeks. Even though had been talking to her in the midst of that, but she never told me the extent what
yeah,
was going on. So I fussed. I was like, "Mom, you need to go to urgent care. They'll see you at urgent care."
yeah.
And she didn't wait till Saturday to go, but anyways, and ended up having to go stay in the hospital. End up having
Yeah.
fluid on the heart and
Hmm.
on her legs. But I'm saying, but I almost like that. I had to shift my mind because it was like, Avante, if you didn't have that check in your spirit to call
Hmm.
her, it could have got worse.
Yeah.
So it was a reason why God had to put that check in my spirit to tell me, even though she went a couple of days, she went. And so when I
Yeah.
went in that room, I said, okay, I ain't going home. I'm going to sleep because she still was in the emergency room waiting to get her bed. And so I was like, really take me over there. So I went over there and I went in the room. I had to lay my eyes on her. And I walked out the room and this sickness is not unto death.
Hmm.
And I meant that.
Yeah.
It's not unto death. She may feel like she go no. I'm gonna pull
Hmm.
even that thought out of her mind, out of her
Right.
spirit. I'm not saying I got like control over who live or die, but I got control. God said it's in my mouth. He said the prayers of the righteous availeth much. So hey, I'm gonna speak what I need to speak
Yeah.
instead of being so. And I wanted to try to worry about her, but I couldn't worry about. You can't.
Hmm.
Like I couldn't worry. All I was like, let me speak. Let me speak life, because
Yeah.
you gotta speak life in certain situations. It get hard sometimes, but if you determined to see life, you got to be determined to speak life. I don't care
Hmm.
how rough it get. Care how rough it get.
And
But
we know it get rough, but it's
it
gonna
get
be all right.
rough. It get rough. It get rough. And then like this poem I wrote about my grandmother. I'm gonna read it. It's like today. Today I thought about you. This is not the one I wrote her funeral, but this is one I wrote last year. Like when I
Hmm.
was really, really like in a real, real bad place. When I was about to get ready to grieve for her. And I was
Right.
like, I thought about her. Like I was in the middle of grief, because grieving ain't always crying. You can think
Yeah.
about somebody and was at a minute of grief. So I said, okay, I'm grieving. I'm finna write a poem. I'm gonna get this off me. Basically,
Right.
do anything to get it off my heart, get it off my, you know what I'm saying? Get it off me. And I was like, today I thought about you, but today I didn't cry about you. Today I laughed about you. Because it's about the memories. Today I laughed about you. Today I smiled about you. As I thought about all the times I had with you. Today I still wonder how to live without you. But remember, you taught me to walk. You taught me how to walk with God. Today my heart is at peace, knowing you are at peace with the one you love most. And that was my thing. So today I will pick up sword and fight on. And that was my thing. My grandma loved it, God. That was her ultimate goal, is to go with God. And
Hmm.
for me to know that she died and she went to heaven, I gotta, she ain't
Yeah.
suffering no more.
You at
She
peace.
suffered for 5 straight years. She was in a, and my grandmother, that was one of her things. I don't know if you ever heard it. Don't put me in a nursing home, but my family had no choice
Yeah.
because the
They
way
had to
the
do with my
state
grandma.
moved, they had no choice. And my
Yeah.
grandma had this disease where she would have strokes over and over and over. She had at
Yeah.
least 4 brain strokes,
Oh
4
man.
major brain strokes,
So
4 major. I'm talking about major brain strokes. She just kept having a back to back, back to back, back to back, back like that. And I was like, that was wild. And
Mm-hmm.
I had took a point while I was taking care of her. Whew, we gonna leave that alone, but it's just so much in that. But I had to push the grief away because now I got Jalen, I got Jemiah, I got Jameer. They don't lost two grandmothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Trying to pick my.
they need me.
Yeah, they definitely need you. I'm trying to turn my light back right.
Who is calling me this late at 9 o'clock? I don't know. But yeah. I don't have nothing else. I don't know if you do. But
No.
I believe somebody was blessed. Didi was blessed. We thank you. She probably
Yeah.
gone. We thank all y'all that tuned
Soon.
into this live tonight. It was something that we had to do. It was something that needed to be done. Sometimes the struggles come, but I just want to let y'all know to keep pushing past them. Listen,
Yeah.
roadblocks gonna come. That's what they're there for. If you ever went through a roadblock, right? And it just popped up in my mind. If you ever went to a roadblock, they taking you through a roadblock and the police stop you. The police stop you to see if you got all the necessary things that you need to get to the next stop for you to go on, right? If you got all the necessary things that you need, you can go on. But if you don't have license and if your insurance ain't insecure, you may have to go to jail. You may have to, you're gonna have to stop at that point. You can't go
Yeah.
past that point. And that's what it is sometimes. Sometimes struggle come because it coming to actually check where you at. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's coming to check. Do you have your belief system? Do you have joy? Did you gain something out of this? Do you have something to go on to the next place? Because you can't go on and try to help somebody and you don't got joy, you don't got love. So it's always a check. So sometimes when the roadblock come, it's to just really check to see where you at. To check and see if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
persevere through it. You know what I'm saying? Because we can get scared when we go through the roadblocks. You ain't got the right stuff. But
Yeah. If your
at the
stuff
end of
ain't
the
right.
day, sometimes roadblocks come to say, okay, you don't got it right now. I'm gonna have to push you back a little bit. But that don't mean you're wrong, but I'm gonna give you everything you need. So when you gotta go bite, learn it. Get everything
Mm-hmm.
that you need, get everything in order. So if you ever get in
Most
trouble in a roadblock, you're gonna make sure you get your license in order. You're gonna make sure you get everything in your order. And that's where I've been seeing it with my life. A lot of stuff been in a roadblock because a lot of stuff it ain't been in the
Mm-hmm.
order that it need to be. And I gotta get it in order. And so that's where I'm at. So it's just like the struggle gonna come. Let it make you. Don't let it break you. Because that's what it's coming to do. It's coming to make you. It's coming to push you.
Yeah.
It's coming to push you. Pain hurt, but pain got a purpose. It got a purpose. Just like I was saying, I had started with pain in my feet, and I didn't know why I was having pain. And eventually, it started going up to my bike, and it was shifting up. Come to find out, I had nerve pain. Something was sitting on my nerve. My disc had torso, and my bite was sitting on my sciatic nerve.
Mm.
So that's a whole different type of pain. So you
Yes, baby.
you don't know. That's a whole different type of pain. And a lot of
Especially
people
when
don't
that sciatic pain ain't no
and a
joke.
lot of people don't understand the pain that I go through on a daily day basis, but I don't try to
Yeah.
use self-pity. I don't try to put people pity me. I try to move forward because I know when God put this on me, he said purpose and
Mm-hmm.
something great coming out of it. So just know, and I know that sounds stupid, it sounds crazy, but just think about it. You can't have a baby without pain.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't care if you
You're
had a
right.
natural birth or a C-section.
It's pain,
It's pain. You can't
but
have a baby without pain.
but pain
And
pushes
and
out.
another,
Mm.
what you said, that's a word. Pain pushes our purpose.
Yeah.
That is so true. So it hurts. Some things you can remove yourself out of. But
Mm-hmm.
some things you gotta go through and you gotta embrace it. Not embrace that it's happening to you. Embrace that it's something greater at the end.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I have.
All right. It's 5 days, y'all. We ain't stressing. We ain't stressing. 5 days till Christmas. Y'all have a good night and We'll see y'all next week. Merry Christmas until we meet again.
Merry Christmas. And I'm going to say this. If you don't find yourself doing anything, find yourself in love, find yourself in joy, find yourself in peace, find yourself happy. And if just for some reason you can't find yourself doing any of those things, find yourself dancing, because there's always joy in dancing. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas and Happy New Year. Don't stress. Don't
Yeah.
stress. And listen, I'm about to get off, but listen. This just hit me. You said 5 days into Christmas.
Yep. 5 days.
Grace, the number 5 is the number for grace.
Mm.
God gonna share his grace on y'all. So y'all have a great day. I mean, that just hit me literally. The number 5 mean grace.
Grace. Mm.
If you don't know what grace means, it's that when certain stuff should happen, God don't let happen.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have, it's gonna come out of nowhere. When you struggling and you just don't know how to get by, God gonna give you some strength. It's gonna come out of nowhere. That's what grace means. Grace helps you sustain, and God is gonna give you grace. So y'all have a great day, and I'll leave you with that. It's 5 days until Christmas, but
Yeah.
it's the number of grace. God shall give you grace. Have a blessed day. Love you all.
Good night.
Bye.